I want to welcome you today to Speaking on the Unspoken. And I have one of Cleveland's finest inside of the studio with me today, Lady Gilmore, who has been in education just as long as I've been living. So with that being said, I want to give her a warm welcome, and she's just going to share some stories with us of education from then to education now in 2022 and what she see the difference is today. Welcome, Lady Gilmore.
Thank you for inviting me, daughter. Peace and good day. I am excited to be here today, to be invited to your first show. And we're going to ask God right now in the name of Jesus.
Thank you, Lord.
To anoint this speaking on the unspoken. And that's such a powerful title because we all carry so many secrets. And we only wait till it explodes, and then we want to speak on it. So I'm excited to be here. I'm really honored to be here.
Thank you.
Because you could have asked anybody else, but you asked me.
Well, I really think it's so important, Lady Gilmore, just not the education, but that parents get educated on why the children need to be educated. Because the parents need to know why children need to read 20 minutes a day. The parents need to know why children need to turn the phone off, why they need to turn that radio off in the car and allow that child to read to them out the back seat. The parents need to know why they need to be cognitive and aware of what music is being played in that house and in that car and what's being fed and into their ear gates and into their eye gates. And until we can start getting some of those clarity and some of that change, I don't see any change.
Time bring about a change. I'm a baby boomer. When I was coming up, Daddy didn't let us watch a lot of TV because he was a educator himself. He read. My father used to read, make us sit down like you just said. He would read to us and we would have to read to him and tell him the story after we read it. And we went to the library twice a week. And Daddy would have us write a report of what books we read in the library. And then he would go to the library and get those books and read them and make very sure that what we wrote down was true to the fact that was in the book. And to this day, so many, many years later, I don't care for TV because we weren't allowed. Daddy used to call it the stupid box, the poison. Take away your thought process, always watching somebody else do something. And when we had to learn how to focus.
Yes.
Because he used to tell us, man, your mama not going to be with you all the time. And you need survivor skills. And teaching us not alone to read, it was just education, period. Math. So when we began to learn how to count, Mama went and got some toothpicks and popsicle sticks. Daddy said, no, honey. They need to learn how to count with money because they're going to use this money the rest of their lives, and they need to know so they won't be cheated. So to me, the difference now than when I was coming up, parents were more focused on their children. They have books on parents, how to be a parent, how to be a mother, how to be a father, but they really don't know what the heart is saying and how we should be. So on that particular note, Daddy educated us. We went to Catholic school. And let me get back to the money. Daddy would have money, pennies, nickels, dimes, and quarters, etc., and we would do like we was shopping at the store.
Okay.
And Daddy would, ring it up, homemade. He was very crafty with his hands, and made a little cash register, and we would go shopping. And then he would cheat us purposely. Daddy would not give us back the right change on purpose so we would know how to count the money And to this day, I don't care if it's 100 people behind me, I'm not leaving that clerk until I count my change.
It's so funny you say that because it's one of the exercises that I've done when we teach financial literacy. I was working with some foster children who had exhausted the foster system. And they're right at that cup where they're learning various life skills, and it was a financial literacy course. And I got all this fake money, and I gave everybody different money in the envelope. And the moral of the story was, when they got their checks from this organization, I'm not going to name them, but when they would get their checks, some of them went to Walmart, some of them went to the liquor store down on 30th, some of them had a bank account. So, I first asked, how y'all going to cash the check? Okay, so everybody told me how they going to cash their check. Okay, so the person that's cashing their check at the bank, guess what? They got all their money, because when you deposit your check, you get all your money in there. That's your money. Okay, so the person at the liquor store, I took $17. Okay, but now a couple of them I took 19 and 20 and 21 and 22 because I want to see, do they even know how much they got from liquor store? And then I just wrote one number on the board. That's all I did. So now that was for them to know they check. So if they check was 511, and I put 488 in your envelope and 499 in his envelope. So then I said, how much did it cost you to cash your check? That was almost a full-day exercise.
Yes.
Helping them to get to understand their money. Because they so happy to cash the check, nobody even thought about how much did they charge me to cash this check. And I was just trying to teach them a simple, soft life skill, but so that they can pay attention when they're out in the streets, just trying to survive. Because believe it or not, those $3 and $4, they add up.
Oh, they add up.
They
Absolutely.
add up. And then, another thing is reading. Asking them when they get there, did you read the policy? Did you read how much it costs to cash the check? Did you see it was a 3%, 7%, 12%? Especially when you at those liquor stores, corner stores, and check cashing places. Mm-hmm. They take a lot out of your checks. A lot. But a lot of those things aren't taught at home. Mm-hmm. So again, that particular situation was with foster children, but this leads back to what you and I were just talking about, how your father taught you those skills so that you can understand money. But I came up with this cute acronym. Children need care.
True.
Okay. And CARE stands for consistent and repetitive efforts.
Ooh, I like that.
Yes.
And
you know what?
It is repetitive. Yes.
Well, they need it, but they need it first from their caretakers.
Amen.
They need it first from the elders. They need it first so they can feel and understand when it's genuine. And once a child feels cared for, we can release so much more out of them. And it leads to my next question. 93% of CMSD students have faced some sort of trauma. And I'm not sure if you knew that number. Mm-hmm. So that's almost the entire school system. So then it makes me think, as a literacy and a reading advocate, how do we expect them to function at 100% if we haven't helped them face that trauma? And that's where I came up with the CARE. But then it makes me ask you a question as the elder. Where do you think we failed the children at to get to this place that we are today with our babies?
Daughter, it hurts my heart so much. The cell phone, the iPad, all of these electronics is replacing love. Mama and daddy sitting down. It was a rule in our house. I got married at 23 years old, so I'm still living at home. It was a rule that we all had to be home to eat dinner together. Daddy said, it's important to your mama, and you're going to be here. So no matter where we were, we came home and sat down at the dinner table and ate dinner. Now, Joey is upstairs in his room with the door locked, saying, do not enter, on the phone. On the phone. Everybody's in their own room, doing their own thing. No family, no love. It's love, but it's just all over the place. And then these children, some of them, I don't want to say them all, some of these children grow up with issues. Loneliness, not love, looking for love in the wrong places, getting involved with gangs, where somebody can show them love. Eating dinner in your bedroom, God forbid. We wasn't able to do that. And doing what we do all these years, I could tell some stories that Pastor would have to push the stop button because we would be so broken up. And these children, no nurturing. Don't even go outside. We went outside every day.
Yes.
We had chores. See, my parents migrated from the South.
Yes.
And they refused to have their children go through what they went through in the South. So that's why Daddy was the way that he was. He was in the service. And he said when he had to peel those potatoes, he knew he had to find a different route. So with all that reading he had been doing, he was in communication. The tap thing, yeah, Daddy was in that. But when we have not so great memories and nobody seems to have noticed the problem, and then they grow up with this problem, then they become parents. Walk into another phase of life, daughter, that they don't know anything about.
Looking for love. And you know, it's so sad. It's really sad because you can see the generational and the generational and the generational, and you can see it sometime in education. We can see it in our communities, and sometimes we can even see it in our churches. But the thing about it is, with our education, is we losing our boys to the streets. And we losing our boys to the streets at an all-time high. And you wake up in the morning and you turn on your phone or Cleveland Remembrance page or all those pages, and it pops up on your phone and somebody lost their son last night, this morning. But when we really go sit down and we start checking and we dig and we read, these boys can't read, a lot of them, and they're dropping out of school. And even if they can read, they're not on their grade levels in reading, and they're dropping out of the schools. And a lot of the parents wants to be the boys' friends, and, you know, as long as he's doing it at home and it's, you know, like dressing them up and keeping them really nice looking and everything like that. However, never understanding the school to prison pipeline, never understanding why it's so important for them to read 20 minutes a day. And for those boys, if they would have understood the importance of reading and stayed in school, I believe if we raise some stronger readers, we'll have stronger leaders in our black young men and our brown young men, our green young men and the orange ones too. But with that being said, it's a piece that's missing. The most feared creature, Lady Gilmore, on this earth is a black man.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
when your son, your husband, your brother, your nephew, your cousin, your neighbor make it home, they making history now because they not making it home every night. So what I've been trying to do with a lot of the black boys and some of my son and his friends is show them black men that they can aspire to become, because we have to create some change and we have to create it somewhere. Okay. And then with the reading piece, so that's the one left tier of it. I'm a single mom. So how do I introduce my son to strong, positive male role models that he can aspire to one day, or just to be an influence, not necessarily a mentor, just an influencer for them. Let them see that. The next thing, in that car, Lady Gilmore, read to me.
Yes.
The music that's on there, it's nothing we have to listen to right now. The cell phone, whoever's on there, they can call back. However, when that teacher says, Derek, turn to page 22 and read paragraph 3, he's so confident because I make him read every single day.
Parent, mommy, take time out, pour into our children. My biological son is 51 years old. When he was a teenager working, his classmates couldn't read. So they paid him to fill out the application for them to get a job. So at the dinner table, Grant happened to talk about it because, you know, we was asked, what did you do today? How was your day? And he said, Mom, I got a lot of work to do tonight. And I said, well, what type of work do you have to do? He said, well, 5 of my friends, they looking for a job and they can't read, so I'm going to fill out the applications. I said, no, you're not. No, you're not. I'm going to fill it out. But they pay me, Mom. I said, Mom needs you to listen. Please, please. You're not. It's just like in the school system. Especially, I don't know why they like to pick on our black boys.
Come on now.
And they're not ready to go to the next grade just to get rid of them, pass them on.
Oh, yeah. No child left behind.
Right. 11th grade, Grant was filling out the applications. 12th grade, they was filling them out. But once they got to work, they could work, but they couldn't read. So they would befriend a lot of people to tell them what was on the board, the instructions, the care, and all of that. Some of them got hurt, burnt, or whatever, because they couldn't read the temperature for the stove. It's now in the location where Popeye's Chicken is. It used to be Sister's Chicken. Mm-hmm. They up there burning themselves because they don't know that it should be at, we'll just say 390. And as parents, we're the first person that they see. And we should be able to see. We have to come out of self. Save our pity parties for another day. We need to see that our child is having a problem. Go up to the school. Oh, please. John and my baby brother, we all came out of Kappa School and with the public school. Mm-hmm. I was devastated. In Kappa School, you did not talk back to the nuns. At that time, the nuns wore the habit. And when my classmate told the teacher to stop talking to her, I had to go home because I had never seen that. Mm-hmm. So here's this pretty girl impressing this boy, a handsome boy, and he can't read. Mm. So it's an everyday thing. We're still running into it now. But parents, I had a daughter, single. I have several. She has a son, and she told me that she's the mother and the father. I said, no, you're not. I said, it's certain parts of his life.
You can't play.
It's certain parts of his life that he gonna need a man to tell him about this certain parts of growing up as a young boy. Mm-hmm. Just like you'll call me, and tell me I need somebody to talk. I just don't want Derek being around me all the time and just expose him to life. Mm-hmm. And you're right. Turn that radio off. Just books. My daycare children had started reading as young as 12 months. Because when their mother bring them to me, I began to read. Because when they leave my daycare, like when our children leave home, you want her to be well said. You know what? His mother really cares. He know how to do this and he know how to do that. I have tablets for my children after we've learned, and I let them bring it up on the tablet. Put them electronics down. Teach them old school. Mm-hmm. I even scramble up, and I know you do it, words and stuff, thoughts. We got to make their minds strong.
That's one of the things I tell parents right away when we're in the community. Go to the Dollar Tree, get some index cards. You got a smartphone. Please don't be dumb and have a smartphone. Google kindergarten sight words. Okay, the attention span only about 12 minutes long. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's about 10 words. When you write 10 words twice, that's 20 cards. Flip them cards upside down. Don't tell them nothing about learning, teaching, or school. Just tell them mommy want to play a fun game with you. Flip them things over, and when you flip them over, say them. But now make it challenging. Don't you flip over too many. Let them match. Hey, my son took that game over. The, he, she, we, me, them, they. And I be like, Dad, you want to let mommy get a chance. However, just building up that vocabulary. And to this day, now he think it's boring because he think he a big boy. But I'm just saying, finding new ways and then deciding different ways. When we go out to dinner, I make him put that phone down. Make them put the phone down, and I be like, are we on a date? If we on the day, how could you be over there on your phone? So we play games like Would You Ever? Would you ever, or would you rather, would you rather? So would you rather walk down the freeway on a cold winter day, or would you rather ride the bike during the rain down the side of the freeway? Just what, but it calls for dialogue. It calls for back and forth and make them think. And more than else, we put these phones down. It's just little things that we can do with our children. Sight word match. Like I said, would you rather? One quick thing that I taught my son riding in the car, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10.
That's it.
3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. 5, 10, 15, 20. Okay, he ain't know we learned them all, but now he in 6th grade, he know how to multiply. So when he was 2 and 3 and I was teaching them all that, they used to be like, Dad, now I knew what I was doing, because you take them same ones and now you know how to multiply. And if you multiply, you can divide. So it's just, that goes back to my care. Children need consistent and repetitive efforts, and they need it from us first.
Absolutely.
And one more thing I see. I just did an event the other day, and the little boy, he was dressed. He was sharp. He looked good. Seriously. And I said, come over here and pick you out some books. And the mother said, he don't read. And I said, well, how you going to pass his test at school? And how you going to fill out his job application? And how you going to fill out his college application? And how you gonna... And she's, she just kind of laughed it off. But she still didn't walk over there and come get him no book. Wow. And it's just scaring me. Like, we just spent all that money to dress him up like a little doll baby. But we're not going to pour into them where they can sit down and have a conversation, and they can have some dialogue. It's so funny when you talk to a child as young as 3 or 4 years old. When I walk up to that child, you can tell a child that's been read to.
Yes.
Yeah, no, you really can.
Yes, you
That child
can.
got a conversation and some dialogue. Sometimes you have to look over there and see who you talking to.
Amen.
And now when you get to a children sometime, and I'm not saying this or that, but I'm speaking truth, that hasn't been read to, you can tell, yes, because they haven't heard those words. I'm going to share the statistics with you. It go like this. If a child hears 20 minutes a day of reading, at the end of the school year, they will have heard 1,800,000 new words. If a child hears 5 minutes of reading a day, at the end of the school year, they heard 1,800 new words. And if a child just hear 1 minute a day, at the end of the school year, they heard 1,800 new words. So I'm telling 180,000, 5 minutes, 1,800,000 for 20 minutes. I think we can get there, Lady Gilmore.
Oh, absolutely.
It's 24 hours in a day. I think a child deserves 20 minutes just to be read to.
And something else, too, you sparked my mind. Holidays, Christmas vacation, spring break, we at school. Daddy set up school. We at school. Because he said you have to keep that mind
Going.
You got to keep it going. And in my daycare, my 2-year-old, we had already had class, so I let him sit in with my 5-year-old.
Okay.
So the 5-year-old was counting to 100. My 2-year-old said, Grandma, I don't want to count to 20. I want to go to 100. And from listening and being taught to listen, he counted to 50.
I'm going to give you a good joke. Derek was about 18 months. And I found Dollar Tree is cold for a single mother. Dollar Tree got a whole teaching section. Sure, and guess what? If they tear it up, it was $1. $1.25 now. But that's okay. I got a quarter.
$1.
So I found a bubble gum machine. And it was about this big, like that. And it had every colored bubble gum in there. And it was on the poster board. And like you, I started counting 1 through 10. We probably went to 20 on all the bubble gums in there. And they were numbered in there. And that baby said the cutest thing, but he taught himself. He would say, 19, 10, 20, 21. 19, 10 is 20. Okay? 29, 10. So I ain't say nothing. I ain't bother. I let him learn it until he got to. So then I went back and taught him 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Okay, so I ain't saying nothing. When he came back, right, he sat there with that bubble gum machine. He counted all the bubble. But, like you said, listening. Because the thing was, it was 10. So after 9 came 10. So when he got to 19, it was 19. 1910. But I ain't say nothing to him because he got to 2910. That's what he would say. But I let him go all the way till he got to 9910. Okay, and then I let him say, because I wasn't going to bust his spirit because he knew he had taught himself. I said, Mommy want to teach you something. I said 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, the end. And that was 18 months. And see, it's up for us as parents to get behind the children and push. My son 11, he said, Mom, I'm going to college and play baseball. Okay, he played rugby and he played basketball. So guess what I got to find now? I got to get him on the baseball team. Because that's what he just woke up and told me. I'm going to college and play baseball. Now he 11. College is a long way off. However, if that's how he feel right now and I can get behind him and push right now, no matter what doors may open, no matter which way it may go, that's something he see himself doing. So I'm going to open up the avenues and create a space and get on the baseball league and put him in there. And the parents, you said one thing as we get ready to wrap up for the day, and I'm going to have to bring you back because we need to have a little more dialogue here. But I shared with some ladies, and this is how I feel, watching young women raise their children. We man Bae, B-A-E. But who manning our babies? B-A-B-Y. No, honestly, I see women, we get the bottle, we got a bag for him, you get this, he got his favorite snacks, whatever. Meanwhile, we won't take 20 minutes a day and sit down with our children and read. The Dollar Tree got workbooks for $1.
When I buy them.
School only can enhance what you're doing at home. If you're not doing anything at home, school doesn't have anything to enhance. So we can't just dress them up and send them to school and say, hey, make me a doctor. Hey, make me a lawyer. Hey, make me a nurse. Hey, make me a beautician. You have to get behind them and push. And then the second thing, you have to create a space in your home that's conducive to learning.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
A space for you and those children. You know, if it's dinner time, if it's bedtime, if it's first thing in the morning, whatever that space is. Because when children know that you care, you're going to get some different results. And if we can just invest in 2022, them 20 minutes a day to read to these babies, we're going to have some better outcomes in their testing scores. We're going to have some better outcomes in their vocabulary. And we're going to have some better outcomes in the overall way that they speak. I want to thank you today, Lady Gilmore, for coming out, sharing your thoughts with me from then to now, speaking with me on Speaking on the Unspoken. I want you to share. Let them know that we're here now, that we're going to have some controversial conversations about learning, about literacy, about education, and about parenting. But most of all, we're going to heal together while we help our babies become lifelong learners. Thank you, Lady Gilmore.
Thank you, daughter.